We're on the road. Where transportation goes, community grows. Welcome to On the Road with the MTA. And welcome to another exciting edition of On the Road with the MTA. I'm Jay Gibbons, alongside with Stephanie Kay from the MTA, who's sitting right over there.
I am with my MTA jacket on. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's very cool. Actually, it's so cool, it's warm.
Well, that's what I wanted because the weather's been so crazy. We're talking like 80-degree weather, and then today it got cooler.
Meteorologists are calling it Ogtober.
That's what you said, and I told you my plants are a little confused. I mean, some of them are blooming, some of them are dying. They don't know what to do.
Yep.
I was watering them, thinking, I'll quit watering because usually for Halloween they'll be dead, and I'll put like cobwebs over them, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but they're
cool.
Still alive and thriving, so I hate to do that to them.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess I could kill them. That's all right. I did that anyway. Not being intentional. Yeah. Anyway, but I'm glad that we're here today because the weather's going to be perfect for a walk, and I want you to get your walking shoes on. You and your beautiful bride.
I got my Sperry's on now. I'll have to put my tennis shoes on.
Okay, well, mark the calendars. October 18th. It's going to be a fun walk, and the weather should be perfect for the Alzheimer's. And this is a really important event. So we have two beautiful people in the studio today. Meg, give us your full name and title.
Okay, hi. Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
It's Meg Allen, and I'm the one of the fundraiser and walk managers for Howell, Brighton, and also in Flint.
Well, wonderful. I met you at one of the chambers, the Davison Chamber.
Did.
Yes,
you
and
did.
you were so bright and just full of energy and came over and gave me your card and thought, we have to have you on.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. And Doug, you and I have known each other for a long time, and you're everywhere I go, no matter where there is. We went to a senior, like a free senior day, and you were right there giving out information and helping people. So give us your full name and title as well.
I'm Douglas Labdell. I'm a program manager with the Alzheimer's Association. So I oversee programs and services that walk funds.
Okay. Now, how many walks a year do you guys have?
Across the state, we have 22 walks
Wow.
in Michigan, but across the country, we have over 600.
Wow.
Man,
a nice,
lot.
fun number we like to put out there is the last 2 years in a row, across the country, we've raised over $100 million just through our Walk to End Alzheimer's efforts.
Well, I know Alzheimer's is just so important to know more about it and get the research and hopefully someday cure it. And when you get it or someone in your family gets it, it is just detrimental. Mm-hmm. And I've always been asked, what is the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
So the very simple answer to that is Alzheimer's is just a form of dementia. Dementia is an umbrella term. It covers things like changes in memory, changes in executive functioning, behavioral changes. It's a cluster of symptoms. Alzheimer's is a disease process that causes those symptoms. Mm-hmm. Similarly, Lewy body dementia, vascular dementia, and dozens of other types cause the same symptoms.
Well, I know people will tease and say, I don't have Alzheimer's, I have sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. You know, I'm getting older, it's okay. But what are the true symptoms that you should be concerned about and maybe go and see a doctor for some help?
So there is cognitive decline that we would expect as we get older. Just
Sure.
like our joints get weaker, our muscles get weaker, we're all wearing glasses, bald heads.
Yeah, I can relate. Mm-hmm.
Not us, though. I'm in denial about the whole thing, too, so not me. But okay.
You're only as old as you feel, Stephanie.
I feel pretty old. Just my glasses.
If the changes that are happening in your cognition and your day-to-day life, if it's affecting your ability to function, your ability to maintain appointments, to cook familiar recipes, to take care of yourself, to get places you need to be, remembering the people in your lives, that's when you need to start looking and talking to a doctor about there could be something else going on here. Add to that, so many people want to avoid going to the doctor because nobody wants this diagnosis, right? Nobody wants
to hear it.
To get that diagnosis. But sometimes it's not that. A lot of things can cause dementia symptoms without being a dementia process. Dehydration, malnutrition, vitamin deficiencies,
lack of
infections,
sleep.
lack of sleep, new medications. Things like that can cause those symptoms, and you can fix them by fixing that problem, but you won't know until you go to the doctor and figure it out.
Sure, that makes sense. It makes really good sense. Yeah, I know.
I'm a smart fella.
Yeah, you are. And I know you're being very professional right now, but we were talking to you off the air, and you have some great pipes. I mean, your voice sounds great. You're just, go ahead and give us that NPR line, because that sounds so good.
This is NPR.
You did a great job. It really was. You could be radio the next time you go out.
I can smell the last person's breath on this microphone.
And what do they eat? Mm-hmm.
Garlic.
Oh, no. So, okay, tell us about the walk and how this can help people and why they should go. So when is the walk? October 18th?
Yes, it is. And registration starts at 10 a.m. And the ceremony starts at 10:30. And then we recognize several people that may have been afflicted with the disease. And then we go to the Promise Garden and plant our flowers.
Aww.
Yes. And then we walk for about a little over a mile. Usually it takes about an hour. And then we come back. And, of course, there's usually a lot of celebration celebration and a lot of music. So we look forward to having people come.
So when does it start? Like where? Where is it?
We're at the Flint lot on Saginaw by the Bricks, the main road. And it starts there and it goes through the Applewood Garden through Mott Foundation, which kindly allows us to walk through there. It's
That's
a beautiful
nice.
location. And so the good news is that we're not expecting rain. So
Good.
Yes.
That's
yes.
great.
So, yes, fingers crossed, but we'd love to have everyone come out.
And is there a cost to do the walk?
No,
So there's
it's
no
whatever your
cost.
donation would like to be.
Okay.
But you can go online and go to alz.org /Flint and you can register, or you can come on the day and we'll happily register you.
All right. Nice. And bring some friends, right?
Absolutely.
It's always more fun with friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the hope is with Walk is, we don't charge for a registration fee for Walk because we want people to come regardless of their financial ability to participate.
Nice.
We describe Walk as the largest support group you're going to find. When you show up to an event and there's 100, 200, 300 people that are all there for the same reason, the sense of community in that is remarkable. There's incentive prizes along the way to encourage people to fundraise, including, $100 gets you your t-shirt. They go up from there.
Oh, nice.
All the way up to if you raise $10,000, I think you can get yourself a set of Alzheimer's Association cornhole boards.
Oh, I
Cornhole. There we go.
That's a fun game for
And
sure.
a lovely table to display if you wish.
Oh, nice.
And of course, there's always still, sponsorship dollars that come in that help support us through that event. And there's always an opportunity to come in at the last minute. I'm looking at you, Meg, in case we get any more last number.
So anybody's welcome anytime. Just get there before 10 o'clock so
Yes.
you can get there for walk. And
Yes.
is there like a color theme? I see a lot of purple. I know that Alzheimer's purple is their kind of their theme. Would it be nice to wear purple, or don't you encourage it?
I would say yes.
I would think so.
I would
Look
love
nice,
to see
yeah.
a sea of purple
Yeah,
downtown.
wouldn't that be nice? I know when we do the breast cancer walk, there's all kinds of pink everywhere, and that's kind of fun. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you have something purple, put it on.
Absolutely.
Buy
We've
yourself
even
something
had
new.
people come in with purple hair.
Cool.
There you go. Is that natural?
I don't know. I'm not asking.
That's a different medical condition that we're not in charge of. Okay.
Well, it's a fun event, I know. And I know I've been asked this too about if you had an actual office in Flint, and you had one before COVID, and now you're still online, you're still in different areas, but you're not actually the store here in Flint, but we can still call you, go online, and get you a hold of you, correct?
Of course, we don't have a brick and mortar here in Flint anymore. And like you say, it closed during COVID. Doesn't look like we're going to open one up. But when we look at it, like I'm here locally, I cover programs and services for 11 counties, so I'm where I need to be.
You're everywhere.
My office is where you need me.
Yep.
Similarly, our care counselors will meet you in public. Go meet at a coffee shop, wherever it might be, come to you, as well as our specialty programs, education and support groups are scattered.
You have a
wherever
lot.
they need to
I
be.
know David that works for you, and he's going to be in Traverse City this weekend, just
Yes.
trying to spread the word and be helpful that way. So you guys do a great job. You're out there, and that's such an important issue too. And until you yourself start to feel like you might have Alzheimer's, dementia, or somebody you know and love has it, you don't realize just how detrimental it is and how much help is needed. Is there any kind of a cure? Is there something that we can look forward to, or any kind of research going on right now?
There is no cure for Alzheimer's disease. We do have medications available now. Well, not we. I'm not a doctor. Preface this, I'm not a doctor.
Just play one on the radio.
Yeah. But there are medications out right now that can help slow the progression of the disease, which
that's
is
good.
groundbreaking. Just came out as early as, or as late as 2021.
I heard about that.
Yep. So there's a couple still on the market that you're able to get. If you get the diagnosis early enough in the disease process, it can slow the progression going forward. From a research standpoint, they were talking 6 to 8 months of delaying the symptoms. But now that we have a couple of years of these medications, there are actually some studies are showing longer time gained back, that you're not lost into the disease process, which is huge. And I mean, this year will be my 16th walk to end Alzheimer's.
Really?
I've been around a long time.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Prior to working for the association, I was a volunteer with the association for 14 years. On the walk side, the last 2 years, I would say, is when the hope has been the strongest as far as what we're seeing come out of research. Most recently, at our Alzheimer's Association International Conference in July, they released this results of the U.S. Pointer study. Now, this is one of the longest running studies we funded. And the effort was to identify things that we do in our lives that we can change to then reduce our risk of developing cognitive decline later. And it's showing that things like diet and exercise, proper sleep, monitoring regular medical conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, doing that in a, for lack of a better word, most structured way you can to focus on those things shows a delay of onset or delay in the onset of symptoms or
And
potential prevention.
cognitive decline.
Well, another great reason to go to the doctor and say, hey, how is my vitamin deficiency? Take my blood work and maybe give them something to help you sleep and do all those
Exactly.
things to help you with this, because I know I have a hard time sleeping. If I fall asleep, I wake up and I can't go back to sleep. And I know
too.
that it does.
too.
I think it's our age and our being female.
Oh, yeah.
everything
When
else.
you get older, it happens all the time.
I know, and it's so frustrating because I'm so tired. I find myself looking for those words I was trying to find. I find myself, having a difficult time, challenging. And I know I'm low on some vitamins. I'm going to get some blood work done, but a good reason to go to the doctor and say, hey, let's do everything I can so I don't experience this Alzheimer's. But if you're prone to it, I mean, is it hereditary? If your mother and father had it, is it pretty well set you're going to?
There's a genetic component to it. There's genetic testing that can be done to determine your risk. And I'm not going to recommend one way or the other whether you should do that, but there's two different gene categories they look at. One is a risk factor gene, which just means that you are at an increased risk if you have this gene of developing Alzheimer's disease at some point. And then there is a gene that says, it's a deterministic gene that says, yes, you will develop Alzheimer's disease at some point. And where that gets a little dicey as far as whether or not we recommend that is Alzheimer's disease doesn't always present outwardly. You can have plaques and tangles and all of the stuff that causes Alzheimer's disease, but might not ever have any changes in your cognitive status.
Oh, sure.
But if you know you're going to get it, you're going to panic from here.
Right, absolutely. You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point.
Similarly, they have blood tests that are FDA approved, up to 90% accurate as far as diagnosing Alzheimer's disease, but they only recommend it if you're showing symptoms.
Right. Well, I guess the best advice is do your best to try to get something to help you sleep and eat better and exercise. And I mean, things that we should be doing anyway, but this is a really good incentive if you think that might be happening. My girl.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that part of this too, all this knowledge is that Alzheimer's Association, we have a very big proportion of our proceeds from these types of events go back into the research and the development and looking at these things and doing the studies. So I was really impressed when I joined the organization as to what percentage does go back into the organization for research.
Sure.
So I think that we are making strides.
And I know people might think, well, if there's no cure, why do the research? Because like you said, the research helps have that drug right now that will help to delay it and keep it from getting worse.
Well, this is the thing too, is research is how we get every medication, right? And everything we know. Now, we have scientists that are working on treatment options, the ones that are existing, ones that are completely different, I'm sure beyond that. But the association doesn't only focus on medical trials. When we fund our research, we're looking at the medical stuff, but we're also looking at the social impact of the disease, because we know that individuals that are caring for those with Alzheimer's or dementia are oftentimes the ones that are the sickest because they're not taking care of themselves.
Absolutely.
So how do we take care of them?
For sure.
How do we make sure that caregivers in skilled settings know what they're doing and that they're doing it properly? Prior to coming to the association, I've worked in long-term care, senior care my entire career. And I've spoken to nurses that the treatment for Alzheimer's disease 30 years ago was sedation or tying them to a bed or tying their wheelchair to a handrail so they can't wander away, because we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know what to do. So now through that research and that focus on social structure, individual people, in addition to the medication research, we know how to take care of people in a way that maintains dignity and respect and quality of life while you have it.
So important. I know. I was speaking to a much older lady. She was probably in her 90s, and she was really sweet, and she was very, very informative. And she said back in her day, when her mother, I think, had postpartum depression, they didn't realize that was like a baby blues type thing. They thought, she's having a breakdown. She's having, so they put her in an institute and gave her like shock treatments, which.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that back then, that's kind of how they dealt with things. So the research is so important. Has the research been cut for you at the government cuts?
So we are separate from the government.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we at the association are the largest nonprofit funder of research in the world. The two entities that give more money to research at this point in time is the U.S. government and the Chinese government, and then us. So that's a huge number, over $100 million last year to research.
Wow.
Nice.
And so at this time, that doesn't really affect us because, again, the vast majority of our funds that we use are raised through Walk to End Alzheimer's, Longest Day, other fundraising entities, and then
Private
grants,
donations.
Right. That's
Yes.
the walk is going to help so
Yes.
much.
Huge.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there any kind of research that will show you where if Alzheimer's is more prominent in one state than the other or one area than another, if the colder weather? I mean, was there anything that would be any kind of, nope, it's anywhere, right? It's just unbiased.
Anybody with a brain is at risk for developing Alzheimer's disease. There are not so much location, but there are different demographics that we see an increased risk in. For example, Black and African Americans are twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's disease as their white counterparts. That. Similarly, you two ladies, as females, are twice as likely than I am.
See, I don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm sorry. Denial.
Similarly, Hispanics are 1.5 times more likely, things like that. So there's research into those individual things too. We just don't really have results as to why it is. The female risk, I know there's a lot of discussion around hormones and hormone treatments that come along.
Yes. Aren't we lucky? I know we get the menstrual cycle, the menopause. Hey, it all starts with fun. Wait a minute. Yeah, I know.
I will say, circling back to your original question about the genetic risk.
Yes.
So there is genetic risk based on your family history. So for example, my grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's disease. I'm at an increased risk of developing it.
Sure.
But when we look at the pie, when you look at the whole, everybody at home, I'm sure you're staring at my hands. The pie of risk, that genetic risk is between 5 to 7% based on your family history. The things I was talking about before, the diet, exercise, sleep, maintaining it all, 40%.
Really?
So I meet a lot of people in what I do talking about, I know I'm going to get it because my mom had it, my grandmother had it, and this, that, and the other. And they just have kind of surrendered. Like, it's going to happen. What to do with it.
Yep.
And I mean, that might be true. But if we can take these things that we can change and focus on them, we can delay onset of symptoms, potentially prevent it altogether. We don't know that yet. So I like the Pointer study, and I like the 10 healthy habits that we talk about all the time and things like that, because it gives us something that we can do. Otherwise, we just worry. Right? There's no sense in worrying if we can do
so
small steps and change some things in my life to reduce my risk. It just seems easy. Let's do it.
Well, I'm sorry. I have to concur with you because my mother had Alzheimer's.
Did she?
And it was a long and drawn out, debilitating demise.
I'm so sorry.
And so that was one of the impetus for coming and joining the organization. But it was also through her lack of sleep, and she was very healthy otherwise, but she wasn't a sleeper, and her diet was good, but it probably could have been better. And it was quite some time ago. So the advancements that we see today were not there. So there are a lot of people, 3 in 1 that either have a relative or someone they know that has been afflicted with this.
So the current statistic is 1 in 3 seniors will pass away with some form of dementia. Might not be Alzheimer's, it might not be the cause, but before they pass away, 1 in 3 seniors. And when I think about that, I think everybody has 4 grandparents. That means at least one of us, everybody.
Well, I think my father's experiencing that. I mean, he was a heavy smoker at one point, so I know he had some bladder cancer, but there was a thing called sundowners.
Yes.
And it was when it was starting to get dusk out, and he was going to come and pick me up. We're going to go to dinner, and he didn't show up. We thought, where is he? And he got lost. He said he just forgot where he was. He was driving, and he ended up in Saginaw someplace, and we were just fearful. And he was too embarrassed to call to say, I'm lost, I don't know where I am.
My mom got very agitated during that time.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to, right? I mean, that's something to be aware of. Sundowners.
Yes, it was not her typical MO, and when it would start getting a little dusk, and especially especially during the autumn time and winter.
Okay.
That was also a big contributor because there wasn't as much sunshine.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow. This particular, my best friend's father said he forgot how to drive his car. He forgot how to turn it on. He was in the car just looking. She said, what are you doing, Dad? He goes, I'm trying to start my car. She said, well, why don't you start it? He goes, I kind of forgot how to. She said, well, Daddy, turn the key. He's like, oh, that's right. And then, small things like that. She said, oh my God, small. It wasn't small. It was pretty big. And then she said she was told by, I don't know if it's true or not, somebody else who had the same situation, that they eventually forget to breathe. They forget how to do things, just common things that we take for granted.
The damage in the brain, there was a myth once upon a time. There's been a lot of myths around Alzheimer's disease, but we don't have 3 hours to talk about this. So one of the myths, though, was that you don't die from Alzheimer's disease or dementia. You die from other things.
Right.
Which for a long time was true. If we were tying people to beds, because then they're going to develop pneumonia because they're not up and moving, right? Or they're not going to take care of their other health conditions because they're forgetting to take medications or missing appointments, things like that. The progression of the disease is killing brain cells. So as it progresses, generally speaking, you see changes in personality first, loss of words, things like that. But ultimately, the damage in the brain gets so severe that it hits, the brain stem, which is where your heart learns how it's supposed to beat, your lungs are told to breathe, and all of those things take place. So eventually, if the disease progresses far enough, it will inevitably damage that part of the brain and cause death.
That's what she was talking about. Now, I know there's nursing homes and assisted living. Is there any homes specifically just for people with Alzheimer's? They can handle that?
There are. There's a variety of different options as far as memory care settings and skilled nursing settings. The vast majority of them are private pay.
Okay. Which can be
outside of skilled
expensive.
nursing, which is expensive. It can't be there that it is.
Right.
So, I mean, they're out there. It's just a matter of finding one that works for each individual.
I know with MTA, we give a lot of rides, up to 4 million rides a year. We give a lot of rides to people in dialysis, or if they're going to the nursing homes, if they're going any place that needs like health and wellness, we have rides to wellness. And that is something too that they can take advantage of. If they have to take a ride, we will allow them to have an assistant on with them. Like if your mother had Alzheimer's, she can't ride by herself. You're not going to feel comfortable. So you're allowed to come on with her for free to take her around. So we're trying to make things as easy as we can for people who have those needs.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
This is something too that we don't really talk about too much because we don't like to talk about all the negative. But in Genesee County alone, I mean, we're an aging population here.
Oh, yes.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a young, but almost 20% of Genesee County residents are already over the age of 65. That's over 78,000 people.
Really?
And that your lifetime risk of developing Alzheimer's and other form of dementia at the age of 65 is 1 in 5. Right now, about just a little over 11% of those residents have a diagnosis of dementia in Genesee County. So that's almost 9,000 people have a known dementia diagnosis. That's not counting anybody who is very obviously experiencing it but never went to the doctor about it or is in denial or family. Whether we see it directly in our own lives,
It's there.
we still have to worry about it.
Yeah.
We still have to worry about it because of our community and because of what we need to be willing and able to provide for those around us.
Yeah.
From working here, I've learned a lot of statistics, and I hear Mr. Benning speaking, and he said every single day, 10,000 people are turning 65 years old, and that's going to happen for the next 17 to 20 years. So when you think about that, there's going to be more need for people with disabilities, with need of transportation. Today you might be driving, tomorrow you might be riding. So that's why these things are, with MTA, with the Alzheimer's research, it's like an insurance policy.
Well, and it's not only just our organization, it's not just for, as Doug said, for the patient, but we offer a lot of support for the caregivers and
That's
for
important.
the family members.
Huge.
So I encourage people to really take a look at our website to make sure if you are involved in this or at some point, take a look and look at all the services that we can provide and use our 800 number and someone will contact you.
What is that number?
1-800-272-3900. It's worth remembering and putting in your phone.
Absolutely.
That's a 24-hour helpline you can call and speak to a professional, not me, not Meg, someone who knows exactly what they're doing that can walk you through a crisis. Maybe it's going to prevent a 911 call because you don't know how to handle this behavior, but someone on the end of that line does. Or maybe it's you just need to call and vent and get it
mental
off your-
health.
off your
Maybe
system.
they're just, because you can, like being a caregiver, you can have some mental health issues just trying
Yes.
to,
Oh, yeah.
it can just be very detrimental.
And then on top of it, though, you can be connected with any of our services that we offer as far as support, things like care consultation, which is a free service we offer that assigns a social worker to a caregiver to make sure that they're in a safe situation, they're getting the resources that they need, whether that's through us or through other agencies. We don't care. If you can get what you need from
Right,
somebody else,
exactly.
please do, because you still need it, right? But we can help connect with that. We also offer financial support for wandering devices for those, 6 out of 10 people with dementia are going to wander, and usually it's not just once. So if you can get a GPS watch, we can help cover that cost, or a
Nice.
medical alert bracelet.
I didn't know you guys did all that. That's good to know. I'm glad you were on the board, on the podcast, and I'm learning about that.
Yep.
And that's on top of all of our super basic programs, like our education programs that are designed to be completely digestible by you and I, normal people. You don't have to be a doctor or a nurse to understand it. So we can give people this education and support that they need to be able to be a good caregiver in home and to focus on how to keep themselves sane while also dealing with the situation. We have education programs that are designed for those who just got the diagnosis and they don't know what's going to happen next.
Oh,
we
that's
have programs
important
for
too.
them.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. I have to admit, I worry maybe I'm going to have it because my father showed signs of it. My mother didn't. She was of sound mind to the very end. She had such a sense of humor, but my father showed many signs of it. And I find myself forgetting in mid-sentence, and I'm talking to my daughter. So I just told you that, Mom. I think, she thinks I'm not listening, but I kind of forgot you said that. So it could happen. With lack of sleep, of course, not exercising, not eating correctly. I guess that Halloween candy is not a good thing to have for lunch. I should have thought about that. But no, it's and all kidding aside, you do have to take these into consideration and really take care of yourself and your loved ones. If you
Yes.
see your parents or your children or somebody else not getting the proper nourishment or sleep, just help them along the way too.
Absolutely. We also offer a slew of support groups across the state. Here in Genesee County, there's 7 just in Genesee County,
Really?
but they're in every county. We are the largest volunteer-driven organization. So our support groups are facilitated by volunteers that we train, as well as our community education. So we're able to reach more. I'm one person in 11 counties. So without my amazing network of 30 volunteers.
Sure.
And we
wouldn't be
need
able to do
more.
what we did. We always need more
every
volunteers.
day.
So
Please.
if they want to volunteer, if they want more information, if they want to do the walk, is there one number they can call to get the information?
Yeah, they could call the 800 number and say that they're interested in that.
Or go online, and again, alzheimers.org, and then there are numerous ways that it'll route you to the subject that you are seeking. And if you fill out the form, we will contact you. I'm looking for people right now, so please join.
What would that entail? If somebody said, I want to volunteer, I mean, would it be like 5 days a week? Would it be whenever they want?
No, not for me. Doug might require more.
So we have a bunch of different volunteer opportunities. I will say for Meg's volunteers specifically, we're looking for, or she's looking for, people to help on walk day. We need help setting up that lot.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Help
Yeah.
checking people in, helping along the walk route, all of those things that make an event happen. There's also an amazing committee of people that meet monthly throughout the year that plan the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
yeah,
And
that's
it's
a lot of planning.
volunteers. It's volunteers that do that with the support of Meg and other staff partners that make that event happen. So if you wanted to volunteer in that kind of capacity,
Yeah, right.
call Meg.
Yep.
If you're
That's all you gotta
retired,
do.
you want something to do. Or how
Exactly.
about Girl Scout troops, Boy Scout troops? 'Cause they can help
Absolutely.
walk people around and help them.
Absolutely. We have the Grand Blanc Pom Pom group
Oh,
coming.
there you go. Yes.
So they will be here in Flint and helping cheer people on. And in our Howl Walk, we have Theodore, who is a purple elephant, and he will be walking the walk with everybody. So
funny.
that's a volunteer.
Sure.
We have
Maybe
numerous
chambers, maybe Rotaries. things like that.
Absolutely. And we have a children's zone or a kids zone. And
Oh,
we have
I
some
like
young
that.
people there that will be trying to attract young people who are coming in and little people.
Yeah.
So we keep them busy and we keep them entertained. We have a dog zone. So if any
you
of you
thought of it
want
all,
to dress
yeah.
up your dog in purple, you're more than welcome to bring them because we have lots of water and treats.
Aw, I like water and treats. I'll walk for
We'll have
that.
some for you too, Stephanie. Don't worry. But we'll have people
We have
treats.
special
Okay,
treats for
people
you.
treats. I mean, do you have like pizza afterwards, like the Crim does? I mean, what do you
They
have?
do. We do kind of healthier snacks, granola
Good.
bars, bananas, things like that. The event itself is really quite short. We will have a couple of food trucks there, though, if people want a heavier meal.
We have a deli sponsoring across the street.
Oh, yeah. Hoffman's Deco Deli.
Oh,
is-
they're
is
great.
doing
They're
a
the
fundraiser
brain
right
sandwich in honor of the Alzheimer's Walk.
that's
So
great.
please go in and support them. So
now.
we
We
have.
also have what? DNW Street Eateries will be
Oh, they
there.
have great food too.
I have Sip and Saddle in Howell, and they will be doing coffee and donuts and some little croissants. So we kind of try to keep you happy with food and
that's a good thing.
entertainment.
There you go.
So tell us kind of like where it starts and where it ends.
Oh golly!
So the walk itself will start at the Flint Flat Lot. Right
Oh,
down,
there you go. Okay, yeah.
on Saginaw. I think the address for the flat lot is Kersley Street.
Yes,
Yep.
135.
Parking will be available at the MTA lot, correct?
Oh, there you go. Yes.
I'm looking at you, hoping that you're going to say yes.
Well,
Still
let
the
me
same.
know. I got to arrange it for you. So, yeah, I can't just say yes until I talk to the big guy
Yeah.
upstairs.
Well, the big guy approved it last time, so hopefully he'll do it again. But if
think
not,
so.
anywhere downtown.
They usually do.
The lot. So we'll start there. Opening, like she said, opening ceremonies are around 11. That there's
And
some
we walk
entertainment up to it. We'll have the Palms team there. We've got some other different little shows. that'll come.
Jazzercise, get you moving.
Oh, yep.
Oh, that's
Elvis.
fine.
I hear Elvis is making an appearance that morning.
Oh, I
What?
thought he was dead,
yeah.
but who knew?
Last I seen
you
him,
know
he was a
that's a
Burger
lie.
King.
I heard he
That's
was
a
pumping
myth.
gas too. So, yeah.
I think there's at least 30 of them in Vegas. But he'll be there. And then we walk up First Street over 475 up through the Cultural Center, through Applewood Estates, which again, October, Applewood Estates.
Oh,
That's enough
yes.
to drag a crowd. I mean, it's beautiful.
I've done it in the Crim. They always open up for the Crim walk, and it's great to walk through there. So it's an opportunity.
And then it circles back right back to the flat lot
Like,
where we
there we
finish
go.
out.
Okay, perfect. That's an easy little circle. Well, good. Well, guys, thank you for coming.
Thank
This
you
is
so much for
wonderful.
having
Yes.
us.
Is there anything else you want to cover before we let you get back to your walk?
I'll just circle back on my volunteerism. If anybody's interested in volunteering on the programs and services side, it's a little bit more intensive just because we have you do a little bit more intensive stuff. But all you have to do is visit alz.org/volunteer. And as far as navigating the website, Meg alluded to it, alz.org/ what do you want? Research? alz.org/research. It'll bring you up all of the research that we're funding currently. alz.org/walk brings you to all of our walks.
Nice.
So it's pretty easy to navigate, similar with subcare and support. So
Nice.
Well, guys, thank you for all that information. I'm so glad to know you have other services too that you can help to offer people.
Yes.
we do a lot. There's two sides of our organization. It's represented in our logo, which again, everybody listening to this can hear, I'm sure.
Yes, they can.
The swoop-de-swoop that you see, it's the man in the brain the beaker and the man. The logo represents the man and the beaker. So we have the beaker side of our organization, which is our research, our science, all of the stuff that's going on around the world to hopefully slow the disease, prevent the disease, cure the disease. But in the meantime, everybody living with the disease and those caring for them still need care and support. So that's where my side of the organization comes in, to make sure that nobody's in it alone, because nobody should be in it alone.
Well, I'm sure people listening right now, and they might be experiencing this themselves or wondering if they are, and they want to volunteer, they want to donate. So once again, just give us that phone number one last time.
1-800-272-3900.
Thank you so much. And thank you for coming in the studio. It's nice to see you face to face. And thank you for what you're doing for the people, too. We definitely need you there.
Thank you for
And
having us.
maybe I'll see you out there, Jay. We'll go for a walk.
Absolutely. Let's go for a walk.
He lives kind of far away, but, if he's
Not that far away.
Okay, you can walk here then.
I'll walk. I'll walk here, then walk back.
Right. Well, thank you for listening to On the Road with the MTA. Stephanie K. and Jay. We do this every week, and we bring you something great in the community to help you make your life a little bit easier. So thanks for listening, and do please stay safe.
You've been listening to On the Road with the MTA. For more information on our services and community outreach, visit us online anytime at www.mtaflint.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The MTA, your community, your connection, your way.